Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Rinse, another episode number 12 here. I am your host, Christopher Barth, and today I wanted to give a little bit more of a detailed explanation into what you might be able to do for yourself at home if you're experiencing jaw pain, joint pain, waking up with headaches, experiencing headaches throughout the day, certain things that may be attributed to something going on with your joints or muscles. And if you watched my last video, I went over some of the possible causes of this and some things that you might be able to do to help yourself, but here's a little bit more of a detailed explanation. Now, a lot of you may wake up with headaches, you might wake up with pain in your jaws or even your teeth caused by clenching or grinding. A lot of this may be one-sided. If you're doing it on one side and you're loading up on one side, it may be both sides. If you're doing it all over the place and you're all over the place during the night. A lot of it can be caused by stress subconsciously. You're clenching during the day at your job or what have you. So one thing that I found helpful, because I have some symptoms myself, is remember I talked last time about that muscle that goes right, it attaches right here and it fans out up the side of your head. And it actually, if you clench right here like you're chewing, you can feel it flex. That's called the temporalis. And it's up near the temples. It can be very tender. So if you massage that and it's tender, that could be pointing to a sign of possible attributed to causes and sensitivity and some of the pain you're having. So if you sit there at night and you're watching TV and you have nothing to do, take both your hands, apply firm pressure, and just massage the area. Now what you may find is something called a trigger point, and that is an area in that muscle or on both sides or one side only that's very tender and very kind of painful than the rest. It can happen anywhere in your body. Any kind of muscle can have a trigger point, a very tender point. And if you find that, whether it be here or next I'm going to talk about the masseter muscle down here, it's going to hurt, but if you actually apply a little bit of pressure to it for about 15 seconds, you may feel it kind of release a little bit, and that can be real helpful for some of that pain or symptoms that you're having. Now you have to do it every night and be consistent with it. Consistency is key here, but it can really improve some of the pain that or discomfort that you might be having. The second area I wanted to focus on was right here. There's a muscle, like I said in the last video, your jaw sort of sits in a sling of musculature, one on the inside that you cannot really feel too well, but there's also a muscle strap that comes along on the outside here, and that can also become very tender. And so finding trigger points in that, like I have a few, that I'll hold for 15 seconds, release, hold, and release for maybe 3 sets, 3 times that you want to do that. So those are some options that can really help you manage some of that pain. Also, just kind of feel around the neck, base of your skull for any kind of tender spots. A lot of the musculature that supports your head and neck can become referred pain up into the sides of your head or your jaw and contribute to that. So muscles that are weak or tender back there can also be a spot that you might want to focus on. There's actually some that ride up the occipits, ride up into the skull a little bit, and those can be very helpful. Actually, there was a couple videos I saw on Instagram, couple folks I follow. Dr. Jacob Harden is one of them. Vinny Rehab, at Dr. Jacob Harden, and Myo Detox. They all, I think, describe a method to release using a lacrosse ball. So if you're interested in that method, look that up. I found it very helpful. But also, those are some things you can do. And then, of course, being self-awareness, which is what I talked about last episode. So I hope that was a little bit more informative than last time for you all. And before I close and go take care of this puppy here, I bet you're wondering why I've got this huge bag of baking soda in front of me. And I have this here because this is one of the main ingredients in that tooth whitening toothpaste that I know you're using to brighten your pearly whites, and it can be useful for that, but it can also cause a lot of problems, such as sensitivity in your teeth. It may cause gum recession, so just be aware of that when you're using those products that contain a whitening agent or some kind of abrasive. More often than not, it's baking soda. There's a lot of companies out there coming out with new brushes and techniques and chemicals to use. One of them is all about the activated charcoal. I'll do a review on that at some point. I got to get my hands on some of that charcoal. One of them is utilizing different chemicals, which I'd be careful of. And then, like I said in the mouth rinse review, there's some credence to the mouth rinses that can help whiten your teeth as well. But that is why I add this, just to remind myself. And if you're ever going to use this or incorporate this into your habits, just be careful with your teeth and brushing too aggressively with something that contains baking soda. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Stay clean.